Are you excited to talk about that movie, Will?
Yeah, what was it called again? Breaking Rage? Broken Rage.
Broken, yes. Past tense.
Gonna break rage.
Another pre-show. We're breaking rage in this one.
Instead of breaking news, it's breaking rage. Actually,
Yeah,
that sounds like the future we're going towards.
That's all hearsay. This one might end up being a shorter one because we just recorded at the time you're hearing this. Last week's episode and pre-show were recorded last night, so this one might end up being not a longer pre-show.
Do you want to?
We just caught up yesterday.
So you teased you've teased two pre-shows now. This Adventure in Mall.
Well, correction. I teased it for one pre-show, and then you brought it up asking about it last time.
I like to re-tease. I like to come in.
And so at the time this is being recorded, that has not happened yet. Still, that is tomorrow, and
maybe.
Also at the time this is being recorded, we're expected to get potentially a few inches of snow.
Just a few?
What I have here, sorry. I believe it's possibly a few inches, but it might be less. Different. Nobody knows how to predict snow. So
no, especially like the first big one of the season.
So it's possible that this event that has been teased for, I guess, 3 weeks now, might not even happen.
It might be.
And if that's the case, I'll just never mention it again, and nobody will ever know what it would have been.
I still would like to. If it doesn't happen, then next pre-show, I would at least like to know what it was supposed to be.
Yeah,
I think I need that release. All this closure. Teasing, I need to have a release of some kind.
There you go.
So you're only going to get like a few inches of snow because we're forecast. Which, I mean, I agree that like no one knows how to, accurately predict the actual accumulation amounts. That's hard. Like that's not like just like a failing of meteorology. That's clearly like a failing of just nature in general. It's such a hard thing.
Yeah.
But we went from like nothing to like maybe snow to like maybe rain and snow to now it's like just north of here is going to get like 8 inches of snow possibly. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, so whenever I looked this morning...
Sorry, I think I just realized why you do sound different. This is pre-show now. I just realized you muted your mic for a cough, and I still heard the cough. Oh.
Well, at least I'm recording. I'm recording with my microphone for sure. At least
that's maybe why it sounds different to me. It's not just.
I guess because I got on here before I plugged my microphone in. Maybe it just automatically stayed on my.
We'll talk about it anyway, just because it's happened. Because I saw you do that, and then you like leaned over to cough, and it didn't register for like a few seconds. Like, oh shit, I shouldn't have heard that, but I still did. So that's probably why. Well, not only my new headphones, but because I was like, man, you sound like crap. But I was just blaming these $14 headphones.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to refresh this page to change the.
No, that's fine. It's fine.
Apparently,
as long as your recording is the right mic, then that's.
It is.
The listeners will never know. I will insert a fake cough where you were supposed to cough.
like just search the internet for like a like some fake ass
Wilhelm cough or whatever, like the one that's always used or something that most used.
Yeah.
Cough. Okay, so yeah, we're supposed to get some. I think like they are saying between like 3 and 6 for my area too by Sunday. So I don't blame you for not going to the mall shindig, whatever it was or will be. If you still do, awesome. But if you don't, I'll at least, want to have some kind of
if not, then all the listeners will know that they can never trust anything I say ever again.
Ever.
Yeah, it's like this morning, the forecast said that I looked at said like 1 to 3 inches. And then
I say that every morning.
my partner, a thing that she watched said, she didn't say how much they said, but she was just like, if we get as much as they're saying, then we're probably not going to go. But the local news that she, for some reason, still watches apparently said that we weren't going to get hardly anything at all. And then now, whenever I just checked, it said half an inch possible. And so everything,
it's hard
just
to
all
like,
over the fucking board.
Yeah, it's so hard to like make plans with those types of like ways and, you know.
Yeah.
And is it going to be barely anything, or is it going to be like totally garbage roads within an hour? And yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I guess the conclusion is up in the air on whether this happens or not.
That's okay. I'll forgive you. Like I said, as long as you do, give me some kind of release, eventually.
Yeah, or
hold it in.
We'll keep event edging.
Yeah, event edging. Oh gosh, that's probably a real thing.
Yeah, I'm sure. So we did Monday's episode. There was a movie that was included that very much intrigued us both, and with a runtime of 66 minutes, it seemed like we have no excuse to not watch this movie.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Basically, I wasn't certain.
You kind of had to squeeze it in a little bit, but
it wasn't as hard of a squeeze as I thought it was going to be. But it was definitely like I literally. Morning. Well, yeah. And that's why we're best friends. No. But it definitely was like right up on like the end of my like pre-recording time, because I literally just finished it. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I watched it. So I actually woke up, and I think during last Friday's pre-show, you had talked about a wonderful British man by the name of Fred Dibnah.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually started my morning off watching that Steeplejack documentary. It's like 50 minutes. I thought it was going to be like a feature-length thing, but it was like television, like 1 hour television length.
Yeah.
And he was an absolute delight.
Wasn't he?
And he was like a very interesting speaker.
Yes.
And just a really interesting individual as well in general, where as far as aside from his to us strange occupation and like
unique,
bizarre
sure.
that's a thing somebody is doing.
I guess somebody had to do it.
Also, like how he spends all of his free time working on a steam engine that he is like built, just because. And then there's footage of him driving this contraption around town, and it looks like a giant steamroller thing that construction sites would use, kind of, but also like that mixed with like a
tractor
carriage train? / train thing.
Yeah.
And I was watching that, and I was like, how the fuck is that road legal? For one, but he has like a license, like a number
registered
on it.
Yeah.
And it's like a legit thing, and he's like just cruising at like 5 miles per hour down the street, and dudes are just like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, hey, how's it going? It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, my wife is upset that I spend more time doing this than like in the house and whatever. And no, he was a character. Like that was an excellent person to just make this about.
I don't know if like they like the documentary people knew that and that's why they chose Fred to profile, or if it was just happenstance that like this guy was interesting and he had an interesting job, and then all of a sudden they like discovered this really charismatic personality. But even in that, I think I mentioned it on last week's pre-show, maybe, about that Industrial Age or whatever his like later documentary is. he's still just as charismatic in that. Like he's just as interesting as like a 70 or 80-year-old guy or whatever.
Yeah. He didn't lose that with age.
No.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, because I do want to watch his other ones. I found like complete compilations of his Made in Britain series that he apparently hosted. It seems like it might be one of the last things that he did, because based on the year that it came out.
I don't think I've seen that yet. Yeah.
I look forward to watching that. I found a video that was like a 3-hour, like part 1, like 3 hours of it, and then part 2, 3 more hours. And it was, because it's like an actual series, and so I think they just combined multiple episodes into one video.
Right,
and
upload.
So yeah, I look forward to watching that, and might be some other ones. And I actually found by searching that, because there is a Alan Clark film from the 80s called Made in Britain with Tim Roth in his first role as a skinhead.
We talked about this.
This was featured on an episode of our show that we deleted.
Oh, that's right.
You remember that?
Yes.
And so I actually found that movie that I've wanted to watch for years is streaming on YouTube in full. Like it's been uploaded. It's only an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm going to watch that either tonight or tomorrow.
So you're going to have like a Made in Britain, but only linking them together by title alone.
Exactly. Yeah. Very different things. But no, yeah, that documentary, I think I recommend it for everybody if you're interested in kind of like, I don't know, if you're a documentary fan for sure, but if you're also just interested in like interesting characters. Like just like a interesting personality and a person that like you probably have never met somebody like this, very unique individual. Go onto YouTube and search Fred Dibnah Steeplejack, Dibnah, Fred Dibnah Steeplejack, and you'll find it's in like HD. It was in beautiful quality. It's great. It looked really, really good.
I'll say that like you don't even have to be, I guess, interested in, industrial stuff or like working or even like the job. It is a fascinating job to consider that like multiple someones had to make that into like a whole industry, And then as you mentioned to me, like he's up there on this huge structure without any like safety net. He had to climb up there on his own. And then he had to like carry and assemble his own like scaffolding to walk on up there. And then it's literally brick by brick, he has to take this thing apart.
Yeah, he just has like a hammer and like a chisel.
That's it.
And he just hammers until the brick gets loose, and he tosses it down, and he has like a chute that he makes. So he tosses the brick. This is like a tall column structure made of brick,
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And he tosses the bricks down the center of this thing, and there at the bottom there is like a chute, and so the bricks tumble out the bottom, and there's just like a giant pile.
Yeah.
And he even talks about how it's very strategic, like how he has to create that so that the bricks aren't going to hit anything nearby.
Right.
And he has to also be cautious about like, because he has a partner that's down at the base, and he has to be cautious of
kill
like,
that guy.
Oh, I need to make sure that he's not there, because if this brick hits him, he's fucking dead.
Yep. Yeah.
There was a part that I really liked. I think it was kind of towards the end of it, where he's talking about his job, and so he's talking about how basically his job is to shorten this thing. That way, it's not, because they could just blow it up and it'll be down in 30 seconds.
Easy.
But you need to make sure that if this structure is around something or it's near enough something,
other houses,
you need to make sure
buildings,
that it's not going to hit something. And I really enjoyed him talking about what he really appreciates with what he does is he explained it something along the lines of, this structure was built by multiple people who like sweat and worked their asses off to build this thing up, and he almost viewed it as kind of like disrespectful to just demolish it, and because these people spent like however long it took for them to build this thing, and like it's not right to just blow it up and then it's just done. And so he said, I really liked the way he worded something along the lines of like if I like taking it down piece by piece the way I do it, it's like this building isn't going down without a fight. And I really enjoyed that. That was excellent, I thought.
That's how they built it, is, piece by piece, one brick at a time.
Exactly.
So he's just going backwards with that process. Yeah. No, it's a really fascinating, I guess, look
and
into...
then it's not even just that, because then there's also like, we see him interacting with potential customers who might be looking for his services, and he's also like creating those like really interesting, like artful columns on I don't know, like government buildings or like on a church, and we see him actually like creating the designs on one of these things. He like hand created this contraption that he can like carve into the concrete to create shapes and designs.
So he's not just destroying tall things, he's also like adding just tall things. And so anything that was tall back then that you needed a guy to do the thing, because there wasn't a crane or a machine that was, I mean they might have had cranes, sure, but it would have taken so much more money and process that it was just cheaper just to pay a guy, and
and then
it's crazy.
He also is like an excellent artist, and so in an age where people don't all just have cameras on hand or a drone to just like go up there and see what a thing looks like, he actually like is coming back down, and he talks about how an upper hand that he has as far as like getting jobs over different people who do the same thing is he actually was able to like check a location out, and then he is able to hand draw what it looks like up there at that high space, and he is able to show them like
perspective.
At this spot you have this thing here, and this is a problem, and you need to do blah 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 blah. So he's actually able to show them like a realistic depiction of what it looks like by just drawing it. It's fucking incredible.
He's great.
That dude is excellent.
Yeah. No, and like I said, I can't
I'm
remember...
on board. I'm all on board for this guy.
Fred Dibna all the way.
20 years after his death.
Yeah, but he was a character, and like I said, I think it was because of, I don't know if he was known, I didn't like look into this, I don't know if he was known outside of that industry before that documentary was done,
like a local celebrity situation or something.
I'm not sure now, but I do gather that after that came out, that it was kind of like he just became this like folk hero of sorts, and he just became this legend, and then that's where later on in life he actually became a TV personality with these shows and mini documentary series on industry, just because he was like the guy that everyone knew about this.
How awesome would it be if whenever I'm eventually able to visit Manchester, if I go see his grave,
that'd be pretty cool.
Send you a picture of his tombstone.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I would expect.
And I actually was really curious where his steam engine is now. Like, I wonder if it's been put in like a museum, or if like his family still has it. And I was curious what
it's like with that. Someone's daily driver still, like
that's such a
groceries.
Yeah, right, on like the interstate. And shit.
Just like 5 mile an hour. There's this huge line of traffic
on the
behind.
shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just
out of the
in
way.
the middle of the freeway.
Yeah, but that documentary or profile, I guess, because it's really, I think it's from a series that I'm pretty sure the BBC was the one who did it.
Yes, at the end of it had a BBC Manchester.
Where it was like
stamp on it.
The local bureau would just profile different people or things, so it didn't have like it wasn't like part of like a larger industry series or whatever. It was just like, here's a guy that does a thing. Let's go talk to him and ask. So there are a couple more that I've since run across. That I don't know if it's the same bureau that did it, but the same concept, like the BBC was behind it in some way. And have you ever heard of the term ancient lights?
Ancient lights? Not off the top of my head.
Okay, well, I didn't know if like through your UK, British, England searching and all that stuff, if you'd come across that term. So I never heard it either.
I don't think so, no.
But I was also like weirdly aware of it, in a sense that I had seen this mentioned or seen the term, I guess I'll say, without realizing like what it was. So similar sort of documentary, there was this guy who I'm trying to recall how this is now, and you can look it up for a better representation of of what I'm about to explain. But it was still fascinating. There was this guy who was renting, or who had just purchased a house, I think it was, and the property next to his was vacant. There was no building there. It was just an empty lot, right? But the owner of that empty lot constructed a wooden wall on the property line, but the wall is only wide enough to block the view from this guy's window. And it's the only view outside of this side of the house that he has that would otherwise be a beautiful view of like the countryside or the sea or something, right? And he can't get them to take it down. They refuse to take it down, even though I think the person who put it up died even, and then like that individual's daughter inherited the property and she won't take it down. And they profiled this guy because he was basically like, I have a house that I should have like an amazing view. This should be a highly desired property, but instead I sat in my kitchen or whatever, or my dining room or wherever this window was, and all I see is like this wood wall, like this wooden privacy fence that's like 12 feet tall or something, So he can't even like see up over it. It's just a fucking huge wall that's only wide enough to cover just that one window. And the reason that exists is because of this law called Ancient Lights. Or Ancient Light, something along those lines. But anyway, what it is, and I might get this wrong, I probably will, that basically, whenever you have a property, you are entitled to light coming in that natural light coming in that window. So if someone were to do an addition or like a new construction or whatever next to your property, and they build a tall high rise or a tall building or whatever it is, you can stop them if that structure is going to block your window. Okay. However, the way around this is if you first build a wall or something or a structure before the other guy builds his house and puts a window in, now that window was always blocked to begin with, that person has no right to ancient light. So you can always... So basically what it was is that the person who owned that empty plot of land was saying, I might someday want to build a house there. But I can't if the guy next to me builds a house first and then claims ancient light, because I will block his light. So I'm going to buy a plot of land and just build a wall before he can claim ancient light. So then now I have to keep my wall there until I build a house, because if I take that wall down first, then he can claim ancient light. So it's this weird like thing. But anyway, so yeah, basically, right? I mean, in America, we have similar things called like spite buildings or spite walls. I think Adolph actually did a thing about this. But anyway, but that's kind of like after the fact. But the reason I knew about this sort of like in the background was because I just watched like a lot of, like things about London or Britain or whatever. And almost everywhere that if you see like a documentary, or even like sometimes even just like films and TV shot in London, especially, like on a lot of the windows of these buildings, these older buildings, somewhere near them, painted, or there's like a sign or whatever, it'll say ancient light. And it doesn't make any sense to me, because I don't know what that is. I just, to me, I think that like that means something, from like the fucking 14 whatever hundreds, right? But no, it's just what the law is called. So they're basically putting that sign out there to tell whatever developer might be owning the property next to them that I have ancient light, so you can't build anything or I will stop you. And these are all over the place. And it's wild. And I think They may have since changed this law, but it doesn't undo like retroactively the ancient light that is currently in existence. Maybe,
Yeah.
but it was really just a fascinating. I want to say like this documentary that I am talking about was maybe like 20 minutes, but it was really a fascinating look at like this sort of old way of controlling property rights and you know because it doesn't go back to like the 15th century or whatever. It's I think it's fairly modern in the sense of like that country's history. But basically it was like people should be entitled to natural light coming in their house, and instead of building up these buildings right next to each other and blocking off windows, we need to be able to have some kind of say over my property. If your property is blocking mine, all of a sudden my property value goes down. So it was sort of an interesting thing to learn about. I had never heard anything about that before. But yeah, it's called Ancient Light or Ancient Lights.
Yeah, that very different thing, but it reminded me there's a old law that originated in the UK. Did you see it? I actually learned about this from John Oliver. Did you see his thing about federal murder?
No, I don't think so.
From a few weeks ago, I think now at this
no.
point. But it's this fucked up law that originated, if I recall correctly, I think he said it originated in the UK from like the 15 or 1600s. And a whole bunch of places,
Felony
all
murder.
of these. Yes.
You said federal. Sorry.
Oh, did I? Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
So,
felony murder, yes.
yes, I did see this. Yeah. That if someone dies while you're committing a crime, you're accused of felony murder.
Or even, if you have nothing to do with the crime as well, it seems.
Yeah, apparently.
Because there's like
tangential crime.
There's like a guy from Florida who was like with some friends, and one of these friends asked to borrow his car.
His car, yeah.
And he let him have the keys, and then he went to
Sure.
bed, and these friends murdered somebody. And this guy, who was unaware of the crime being committed, was not where the crime was committed, and was asleep whenever it happened, was arrested and charged with felony murder.
Was that the one where
despite having nothing to do with it?
Was that the one where his friends killed somebody, or was it the fact that one of the people in that friend group got shot and died?
No, that was a separate incident.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
just
Yeah.
a guy gave a person his car keys
Yeah.
with no prior knowledge
Felony
or
murder.
anything.
You're a part of it.
And was asleep and got sentenced to life in prison for no reason. And then, the one that you were talking about was in Indiana, and
Yes.
it was these teens broke into a house which they had thought was empty, and
Right.
turned out there was a person in there asleep, and that person woke up and shot and killed one of these teens. And the other 3, I think, teens that survived and got out were charged with felony murder for the murder of their friend.
Yeah. For the death of their friend. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Wild stuff.
And getting sentenced to like 50 years in prison
Yeah.
for
And even
felony murder.
even the kids were like, I guess they're adults now, but they were like, we definitely need to do the time for breaking and entering and robbing the place, but it doesn't seem fair to do time for someone else's death that we
Because
didn't
the
have any part
other
of.
thing, they were also unarmed. They didn't have, none of them had any weapon on them at all or anything like that. It was purely the gun of the person whose house they were in.
Yeah. Yep.
Fired by the person whose house they were in. And then he also skimmed over mentioning like there was a person charged with felony murder because they robbed, or unless he was just giving examples, which might be, I don't remember, but there was like an example, I think, of like you can rob a bank, and then after you leave, a person who works there can like have a heart attack and die, and then you'll be charged with felony murder.
Yeah.
I don't remember if that was a case that actually happened as well that he mentioned, or if that was just like an example of like how this law also works.
Right.
But yeah, that's fucked up. That blew my mind. But yeah, that is like, I just thought of that because that was like an old UK law from what I recall him saying.
I think that's what he said. Yeah. It started
Everybody
there.
has gotten rid of except for
Except us.
America. It's only in the U.S.
Yeah.
in like 30 states or something like that still has this law.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he said, luckily, some of these places have overturned it since. And so, like, the guy in Florida, if I recall correctly, has since been released. And I think that those teens that were involved with that had since been released or had their sentences
Reduced or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's really fucked up.
So do you think that the ancient lights law is fucked up too? Are you on the side of the person with the window or the person who wants to build a house?
No, I think it'd probably be good to have sunlight in your house, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
I guess that's my stance. I don't really have too strong of an opinion either way, I don't think. But
So
I think
you're okay with it, but if it didn't exist, you'd also be okay with having someone just block the view of whatever, the view was. I mean, because that was the thing that I didn't quite get, I guess, was, I mean, clearly if you build like a structure like, 1 foot away from a window,
yeah,
you're going to block most of the light then, right? But this wasn't like the house that was next to that empty lot. It had several feet between it and the empty lot. So I'm thinking like, again, it's tough because I would be pissed off if like I had this beautiful view and then all of a sudden, someone like built a house. Yeah. But I would also be pissed off if like I owned property and then I was told I couldn't build a house because some guy has a window.
yeah,
But anyway, but like the whole like light part of it, and maybe that's just like the name, but to me I was just like, I don't think you're going to make it like completely sealed off from all natural light.
Yeah, because it would be like for this 6-hour window, you don't have light.
Yeah. Exactly.
On that side.
Yeah, on that side.
House.
Yeah, of the house. Yeah. And also too, like, it's the UK. So how much sun are we actually talking about in the first place?
Yeah, you're blocking the clouds.
Yeah, blocking the gloom, ancient gloom. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure there was a dollop a long time ago about the spite fence or the spite house that I think it was in San Francisco. Or I could also be misremembering like an actual like fact that I learned while I was in San Francisco. But there was this there were these two properties, neighbors, and one guy built a house and the guy next to him built a house that was a little bit taller, I think. And he didn't like it, or he didn't like his neighbor, or there was some kind of feud between them. Mm-hmm. And one of the individuals just kept building either this wall or like his house just taller and taller and taller, just to purposely like make the place look ugly and to block out all the light that he could from his neighbor. And I was like, that's like just the opposite of this whole ancient lights thing. Like you're just allowed to like, totally destroy your neighbor's views and property value. Yeah. That was before HOAs, I guess. But yeah,
those are good.
Those BBC documentaries or profiles or whatever are really interesting. I would like to find more of those instead of just randomly coming across like I have been.
I really like the BBC documentaries in general. We actually signed up for BBC Select.
Oh,
it's just BBC documentaries, and it was like
nice.
It's like an Amazon add-on thing or something like that, and it's like I think it's only like $5 or $6 a month.
Right.
And I just watched. I have I think a 2-part thing about like the Manchester bombing in my watch list, and then I just watched one the other day about that I was disappointed was about an American, because I was hoping it would be about British people, but there was like a crime one, and I watched the first episode of it, and it was this old woman from San Francisco that like murdered a whole bunch of people.
Oh wow.
She was like 59 or 60 or something like that, and she was like renting out this she was renting out this building that she had, and she would murder these people and bury them in the garden.
Oh shit.
And she was like the most unsuspecting person because she just looked like a little granny, like a sweet little old lady.
Of course, yeah.
And so nobody like suspected her or anything like that for the longest time. These people just kept going missing. And then finally there was like an investigation, and these people were like digging in the garden, and she like tried to flee. And
oops.
Granny on the run. Interesting.
Yeah.
It was kind of interesting. I was going into it hoping it was going to be about British people, because I was like, I don't really know any, like, other than Jack the Ripper, I don't think I really know of many like big like British like murder cases or criminals or anything like that.
I mean, it is the stabbing capital of the world, or whatever you claimed before. So
I don't know if I said that, but there are a ton of stabbings. There was just one.
You didn't. You didn't claim that.
I think shortly after.
Yes,
not
it was
long
like a
after
week
that,
after
there was
that.
like a horrific like train stabbing.
Yeah, it was poorly timed on our part. But I mean,
yeah.
The episode will release much later than that, so hopefully people will have forgotten by then. But yeah,
well, until I just reminded them.
Yeah, yeah. We recorded that episode about the stabbing numbers.
And
like
then there was
before.
another story. I think it was in Birmingham. There was a woman, like a 30-year-old woman, that completely at random was just like stabbed in the neck by this person and killed.
Wow.
That was just like a couple of days after that train one. But then I think that train stabber has been investigated for like possible other stabbings in that area where that happened as well. And I haven't looked at or heard anything about it since, but really good stuff. At least the difference between them and us is if it was here, it would be guns and everybody would for sure be dead.
And we would have forgotten about it within a day.
And
because 5 other mass shootings happened.
Yeah. And then there would be like, on social media, people would be like, is no change going to happen? And then everybody's going to be like, no. And then we'd move on.
Yeah.
And whereas over there, it's stabbings, which are horrific. And I would never want to experience. But at least you have a higher chance of surviving.
Right.
It's not just all 10 of those people or however many it was are just dead. I think maybe, I don't remember how many deaths there were. There were, I think maybe a couple of deaths from that, but I think everybody else has survived that specific incident. Again, I didn't really keep up or follow this too closely, but a lot of stabbings over there. Not good.
So I don't know if there's a John Wayne Gacy equivalent over.
Other than Jack the Ripper, there's not like. Yeah. There's not one that I can that it comes to mind anyway. That I
maybe there are, but we just don't know about them because
if there are any UK listeners, they're just like, you don't know about Billy the
Butcher.
Billy the Butcher.
I think that actually might be one.
It might be. I'd be really. I would be interested in that. I mean, I know I'm also not super into true crime. So I know that you're not real. It's not really your cup of tea.
Yeah.
But I also am not. I also am not like one of these people that's obsessed with it and watches like every true crime thing that exists. And there's specific things that really interest me, like the Manson murders is like a really interesting case, I think, and Jack the Ripper, I think is kind of an interesting.
Sure.
At least that one is like 120 years ago, so there's like enough distance to make it seem slightly less not horrific, but like there's enough emotional distance between now and that event that I'm able to kind of watch it with less disgust, I guess. But
for me, it's the fact that like at least with true, like, I'm interested in like crime as far as story goes, I guess, but for me, like the whole true crime thing, and I think Dave, because I just listened to the Knowledge Fight episode of Pastimes. I think Dave actually said it best. Because they were talking about true crime or something along the lines of that, and he mentioned how his wife is really into it, and how he just like told his wife like, you know that happened in the past and they've solved it already. You can just go online and figure out what happened in like 5 minutes. You don't got to read or watch a whole
or watch this like hour long.
You can just jump to the end, and that's kind of. I was like, yeah, that actually like explains my perspective of like, I don't want to see this thing that has an answer to it. Drawn out over the course of like, you know, an episodic adventure or even an hour story. It's just like, just tell me that the guy is like in prison. I don't need to know like what his sister thought, like, you know, 2 days before it happened or whatever. Right. Yeah.
Or hear how like surprised his friends were.
Yeah.
That he
but
was
then
arrested.
like the ones like Jack the Ripper or like the Zodiac Killer or whatever, like the ones that don't have an answer, like there's not a definitive, like this is what happened to the, you know, the perpetrator and they're in jail now. Like those, I do have some like interest just to like, you know, speculate what might have happened.
Yeah,
or
Zodiac,
who,
I think, is fascinating.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, because there's still an open end. Whereas, you know, a lot of the true crime, it's like, okay, just fucking tell me like how many years the guy got, or you know, whatever. I don't need to know everything else. I'll just go read about it, you know, in the paper or whatever. Yeah. So that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah. And I'm kind of, my partner, like most white women, is very into the true crime stuff.
I almost spit my drink all over the place. That was most white women.
Yeah, most white women are very into the true crime thing, and she definitely watches and keeps up with all of these. Like she watches a bunch of these, in my opinion, very trashy shows that are just like true crime centered, and they're like, it's just like stuff that's currently happening, and it's like, why did Tony the TikToker murder his family and stuff like that? And he's in custody. We don't have the answers yet, and it's like this shit. And I'm like, I don't fucking care about any of this. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, not in the sense that like I don't care about these dead people, but just like I don't. Yeah, I'm not interested in following this story and hearing what this person did to his family.
To me,
like,
it's the equivalent of like whenever I try to search a recipe online, and people understand this, like they have the same complaint. You like look up how to make like a fucking lasagna or whatever thing, right? Or like a special version of something, and every time you have to read or like skip past 4 articles or 4 paragraphs about like the person, like what they were doing with their family and like this trip they took to Italy, and it's like just fucking give me the ingredient list and tell me how long to cook it, and I just all I want. I don't want this blurb, like, so that to me is like the true crime ideas. Like
that's yeah. I always hate that whenever I'm looking up a specific tutorial or information about something, and then the first like 3 paragraphs are, so what is an outlet? Well, it's where and I'm like,
before
no,
I
just
tell you
tell
how to
me.
wire a light bulb, let me tell you about the history of Thomas Edison and
So in 1820, it fucking sucks.
it's like
I hate
just
that.
well, and like even the video versions of those things are getting are like that sometimes. I cannot stand a tutorial like how do I shut off the water main in my house? Like that's all I want to know, right? And then like you find like 80 videos of like these old white guys who probably know what they're talking about, and you click on one that's like, you know, well, first I guess you click on the one that has the shortest time because you know that one's going to be the one that gets you to the point,
like,
right?
Hopefully that's the most concise.
But even then, like most,
and then all the comments are like, short and sweet. You just told me what I wanted to know. Thank you.
But even then, like the shortest one is usually like 2 or 3 minutes, you know, and you're like, okay, fine. So you click on that, and the guy has like a 30-second like, you know, intro where he's like walking around his shop or whatever, and there's fucking like, you know, cuts, and I'm just like, okay, skip that. And then he like comes on camera, and is like, hey guys, so you're wanting to turn off the thing in your house, and you whatever. It's like, yes, that's all I want to do. And
I got all kinds of other tutorials. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you want to know.
And then it's like, you know, this is a common thing that people need to do in their house, and it's something that not enough people. It's like, yeah, that's why I'm fucking here. Just tell me how to do it. God damn it. Yeah.
You're telling me why I'm watching your video.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but then the opposite is a case for a lot of the shit that I have to like look up, which is like a lot of like random electrical things or whatever. And there are a lot of how-to videos out there that are super short, like 30, 40 seconds from back in the day of like YouTube before shorts were a thing even. and you'll watch them, and it's like two hands on screen, like a top view looking down at a desk, two hands on screen doing the thing, and there's some weird like royalty free music playing, and then there's like maybe, if you're lucky, maybe some text on screen, but usually not even that. And it's like the hardest thing. You have to like watch it 80 times and pause it to see like what components they're, you know, soldering together or whatever. And on those, I'm like, you could have just taken a little bit longer just to, you know, kind of explain to me what's going on here. Yeah.
There is a, I can't remember the name of it. I maybe shouldn't even promote them anyway. But there is like a food related YouTube account that my partner is subscribed to, that she'll, if she's like bored and there's nothing else on or whatever, she'll just like click one of their videos. Yeah. And there are some things that are kind of interesting that they'll have. It, like the title of the video will be, what is Coke's flavor profile? Or I don't know if that might be one of their videos or not. That's
intriguing.
I'd be like, yeah, that's kind of interesting. Yeah. But it'll be like a 15-minute video, and it'll be like, Coke, the drink we all know and love. What exactly even is its taste? And the history of Coke dates back to 1820. And
it's a bunch of like Ken Burns style like photos going across the screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then finally, with like 2 minutes left, it gets, so what exactly is the taste? Well, no one really knows.
Yeah, no one really knows. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more. It's like, God damn it.
I wasted 12 minutes to get to the part that actually was why I clicked on the video, and then you didn't even give me anything.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of that shit out there, and I've watched a lot of it just on accident. But the ones that always...
That's also one of these channels that tries to be funny, where it'll be like, and boy, that reminds you of a time when you were younger, and then it like shows a clip from like Scrubs of a person being like, oh man, this Coke really brings me back. Yeah. And then it continue. I hate that shit so much. It drives me insane. Yeah. I've sent you many complaining texts about this at random.
Does your partner watch those cooking videos where there's always a crock pot and like a thing of cream cheese in like every fucking recipe?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I don't know how
I'm personally subscribed to a few like cooking specific channels.
I'm not.
No, I haven't noticed this phenomenon.
If I need to do any kind of cooking thing, I'm just searching it once and I'm not subscribing to anything. But for some reason in my algorithm,
well, there's one excellent channel called Tasting History that I really like, and it's this dude where I think I have seen this. Yeah. He has a specific like old recipe, and he's following that recipe, how it was made. And then so he'll like assemble this thing, and then during the like, and now we wait for it to cook portion of it, he tells you the history of like how this food and why this food came to be. And then it wraps up at the end where he like tries it and tells you like, this needs like more salt or whatever. Like,
isn't he dressed for the part too? Is that the same guy?
I don't know. Probably not. He's usually dressed just like in casual clothing.
So it's not
maybe
the same
he has
guy
like an apron on or something.
Because the guy that I've seen is like he cooks on a hearth, and like he's dressed from like the 1750s.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. It's this dude. He's kind of an older guy, and I think I might know what you're talking about, because I think that actually is one that she.
I'm not subscribed to. Those are at least somewhat fascinating.
There was a video, I think, of his where he was making like hardtack or something like that I think I might have remembered watching. Yeah.
Same guy. But no, so for some reason my algorithm has me, because mine, that's a whole other topic. But anyway, like there's so many of these, what I'm going to guess are just like kind of like rage bait cooking videos. Like, like they just do the stupidest things to get comments, on their
interesting cooking
video,
decision.
And then but that gets them, views, and that gets them paid, I guess. But it's always like they'll take like a whole block of cream cheese and just like plat it down in the middle of the fucking crock pot, and then they'll pour a bunch of ingredients around the cream cheese, and then they'll like half-ass stir it. And all the comments are like, you should have stirred that better. I would have stirred it in a bowl. Like that's all the comments, right? Or there's other versions of this same thing will like they'll take a can of like nacho cheese and they'll like take the lid off, like a big can, like one of the massive cans of nacho cheese, and like invert it with the lid off in the middle of the crock pot, but they'll keep the can in, so it's just upside down now with no top on, and then again they'll pour ingredients around like beef and tomatoes and whatever else around the can in the crock pot, and then they'll slowly remove the can at the last minute, so that everything just drips everywhere, and then they'll kind of like half-ass stir it and put the lid on. And then, you know, it cuts to like a final version. But it's always that where it's either cream cheese or a can of nacho cheese. And there's like hundreds of these, like different versions of food. And it's always just trying to make like the dumbest mistakes or you know, habits or whatever, just to get comments and people being like, you're an idiot.
People will interact with it.
Yeah. It's so stupid. Like, it's, God, I'm sure they're making like $40 billion.
Happily have not encountered this.
Well, pray.
The thing that she watches that drives me absolutely crazy is I made the dumb mistake one day where there was like I've never watched any of these things before, but just randomly via the algorithm and like the recommended section, there was like a video of like it was something like Walmart, like people angry at Walmart or some shit like that. And we were like bored. And I mean, like people in Walmart, like yelling at people. And
okay.
And I clicked on it like an idiot. And in my head, I was like, as soon as I clicked on it, I was like, this is going to be her new fucking thing. And it's going to drive me crazy. And I shouldn't have clicked on this. And we watched this video. And then like the next day, my history was just full of these videos because she subscribed to some channel called like Public Freakouts, and it's just compilations of people like yelling at each other in the streets and stores, like in various places. And I'm like, I cannot
just
understand
brain rot
how or why you watch this. This is fucking insane. I can't. It's just nonstop fucking people yelling at each other with a narrator who's like, yeah, this Karen is stupid. Just dumb shit like that. It's fucking awful.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of at a point, if I'm in the room and like she puts that on, I usually will leave the room, or like I'm just like this. I'm not watching these videos.
No,
I'm angry that would, you're like, subscribed to it on my YouTube.
Well, that's
channel.
the thing. Like I'm so protective of my YouTube experience. I don't like if I'm somewhere and someone tells me, hey, you should look this video up or whatever, you know, unless it's something that I know that I'm gonna be into, or maybe if it's, you know, like I don't know for sure I'm gonna be into it, but I know that like it's at least around some of my interest, you know, like maybe music. Maybe it's not the music I want to hear, but it's still just music, you know. Then I'll do it. But if people tell me to like, hey, you should look this up, I don't do that. Like I'm open to them opening it up on their phone and showing me, but I am not going to type that shit into my search bar on YouTube and ruin the curated thing that I have going on. Like, and there are times where like I will have to like look up something that I know is going to like, you know, all of a sudden like activate a new version of my algorithm. And I hate that so much.
Because all it takes is one video of a specific thing, and
it's because like I have a very like again curated thing going on, and YouTube is trying so hard to figure me out and figure out like what I might be interested in that's new. So as soon as I like look up, you know, any one thing, all of a sudden that's all the videos. You know, it's like every recommendation is again that one topic, and I'm like, I've already got it figured out. I don't need to watch 20 more videos about this subject, you know. And then it takes like 2 weeks for me to get my algorithm back to what I want it to be. But I absolutely I would not let anyone
recently
no matter how much I love them, I would not let anyone on my YouTube.
I watched a video recently of just like it was just about a cell phone. I had mentioned that North Korean video, but that was a separate thing. But I watched a video. It was like a review of a specific cell phone that I watched, and then since then there's like a whole section of recommended
Yeah.
that is just reviews of that same phone again,
Yeah.
like over and over,
Over and
like
over
a
and
whole
over
bunch of these videos, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm fine. I
Yeah.
don't need to watch any of these.
Like speaking of like home improvement how-to videos, I looked up how to drain my hot water heater, or like if I should drain it, was like the subject that I typed into the search bar, and I did watch 2 videos just to get a bigger consensus than like one perspective, right? Which, I mean, 2 isn't that much bigger, but it was a lot of the same stuff in both videos. So I was like, okay, I feel like I'm making the right decision.
Yeah.
But anyway, but yeah. So now and that was 2 or 3 days ago. I watched that, or those 2 videos, and all of my recommended stuff is the same subject of like how to drain your water heater, and I'm just like, I already know. I don't need to see. I've already done it basically, or I've already decided not to do it, or whatever it is. I don't need to keep seeing videos. Like, the algorithm in that respect is very dumb.
Yeah.
So yeah, the whole food thing. I'm amazed that you haven't seen the cream cheese people.
No. Yeah, there's
it's
there's
like-
that
it's
tasting
like-
history one that I like, and then there's this guy Adam Ragusia is his name. I enjoy him because he's like really smart, and he does other things that aren't just cooking, but also just the
Yeah.
way he'll like really explain like scientific kind of stuff as well, and he'll
yeah.
like explain like molecular
That's
different
cool.
versions of X, Y, and Z. And he'll do videos that aren't even related to cooking. It might be food adjacent, but it'll be more of like a different topic altogether.
Yeah.
And that he does all kinds of really interesting stuff, and I'm subscribed to him. But other than that, I don't think I have any other food related things that I watched or am subscribed to.
I said that I wasn't subscribed to any food things. That's definitely wrong. I'm subscribed to Matty Matheson just because he's hilarious to me.
Him too. Yes, yes, we're subscribed.
And
to him.
also, I do kind of like his cooking style and his recipes. I haven't
Yeah.
followed any of them yet, just because he uses a
Same.
lot of stuff that I can't afford.
Yes.
But it looks great and he's funny. And then the other one, I think you would actually like this guy. I've been following him for a while. His channel is called Sandwiches of History, and all the videos are like 3 minutes max. But essentially,
I love history, and I fucking love sandwiches.
sandwiches are the best, right? But basically, he has a bunch of old sandwich cookbooks. Like, they're just cookbooks about sandwiches. And then all of his viewers, like he has a big community on Patreon, I think. They submit sandwich, like regional or family sandwiches or whatever, right? And he just makes them. He makes them as the recipe says, or as close to as possible, no matter like how old they are. And he takes like 2 bites and is like, yeah, it sucks because it's from like the 1800s or whatever. But that's what you should expect because it has like 2 ingredients and one is sardines. And then he gives it like a really quick rating, and that's it. And like every day is just a new sandwich, and it's the coolest like little thing, And the guy has amassed a huge following. He even does like live. I don't know what his live show is, but he does live shows where like he'll have an actual audience. And I have no idea if he's just making sandwiches on stage. I don't know what he's doing because his videos are just like 3 minutes long. That's it. Yeah.
Maybe he's just like an intermission or a halftime show situation.
He's the opening act. No, but I
He
mean,
comes out for like the NBA halftime show and makes a sandwich.
he is charismatic, and I enjoy watching just him. But his videos are really, really just to the point. They're great. You learn about a sandwich that you've maybe heard of, or like a regional sandwich that you haven't heard of, or whatever. Yeah, it's good. So, Sandwiches of History, I recommend that one.
Interesting.
Those are the 2 I think food related, and I don't watch the Sandwiches in History guy that often. I kind of let like 2 or 3 weeks worth of videos stockpile, and then I burn through them,
Like
because they are
30
so
minutes.
short. Yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, good stuff. Just avoid, like I
Yeah,
said,
pretty interesting.
avoid the cream cheese people. If you see anything with a block of cream cheese in a crock pot or like a slow cooker, just run away. Just you're destined for bad times.
Yeah, she is into these. My partner she loves really bad like reality TV shows and like trash and like drama and shit like that. That's what she's into.
Yeah.
So there is like, so we got into these. We started watching a whole bunch of these like Tokyo related things.
Yeah.
There's, like different cultural related stuff. There's a channel that she subscribed to that I also enjoy where it's like a dude, you never see him. He's always behind the camera.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk.
Yes.
Everything is subtitled, and he like walks around and shows you like these vending machines and
Yes.
he, like gets
I
different
fucking love this
things.
shit. Oh my god, I watch this stuff all the time.
And
Yes.
that's all this channel is. And he'll like try something and the subtitle will be like, this is really good, pretty salty or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he'll like move on and he'll go to the next one. So there's stuff like that. We found this Japanese woman. Her name is Miley. And
Suspicious of that.
she is she is a tour guide. She knows English. She like studied English for a while, and she's really pretty good at English. And so she's just a tour guide, and she has a channel where sometimes she'll put up videos where she is showing you different cultural related things and
Right.
explaining you about it, and or she'll like show you this area of Japan, you can do this thing and that thing and whatever. And then sometimes it's a video that's just like, I had a tour group this past week where we went on this trip to this place, and like here's like a video of like the week that we
Right.
went on and whatnot. But these tour guide videos, like the ones where it's like a recap thing, are really weird because she is this like gorgeous Japanese woman,
Sure.
and all of the people that are on her tour are these weird old white people,
Oh.
men.
Oh.
There's never any women in any of these things. It's
Yeah.
all of these weird old men, and a lot of them are the same people over and over. It's just the same group of people over and over again. And
Do you think it's like just her friends, or are
they're
these
paying?
are these
They're
clients?
definitely paying customers.
These clients
'cause,
of sorts. It's a side gig.
But there are like there's a handful of these people that are always there in all of these videos, and it's really creepy and strange, and they're always really awkward, and they're like really fucking weirdos.
Is she the one recording all this?
Sometimes she is, sometimes she's not. There is another guy who has his own channel that she's also subscribed to, and that guy, all he does is like walking around Tokyo
Like
videos.
POV?
He often doesn't talk in his videos. It's just like walking through the
Yeah,
street.
yeah.
It's just like POV walking through, and you see all the weird stuff in Tokyo. But he also sometimes has videos where he's talking, and we usually don't watch those. But often her tour videos, so he and her like partnered together, and so he's usually filming her tour stuff.
Yeah.
But whenever it's different videos, usually she's filming herself, like showing you different
Like a
stuff.
selfie stick or something.
Yes.
Okay.
And she also does live streams like every weekend where she's usually just like with her selfie stick
Yeah,
thing,
this-
like walking around to do a different
This
stuff.
seems like a marketing
But-
campaign for herself. That's what this sounds
So-
like.
These tour videos are really fucking weird because these guys are fucking weirdos and really creepy.
Yeah.
But my partner is like deeply invested in like the weird drama. Like she knows the names of these fucking people that are
Oh,
on the
wow.
tour all the time, and so she'll like scan through the comments, and these guys always comment on the videos.
Oh.
Every video that she puts up, these guys who are on the tours comment on the videos, and there's like this dude
Some strange going on.
I know because I'm in this loop now too, where there's this guy named Alan who is this weirdo, and he's always there.
What
and
makes
he
him
always
weird
comments
first? Like, what makes him weird?
his demeanor.
Okay.
and he always comments every video that she puts up. He comments something like,
I love your feet.
at least it's not that direct, but there is another story close to that he'll always comment something like, oh, I loved it whenever we went to that shop down this street. Good memories. He always makes a comment that's something like, I have been here with you before. as if to like
I
make
have to
sure
tell
people
yeah.
looking at the comments know.
Yeah.
It's really he comments something like that every video that she does, whether it's with the tour group, which he is there for, or it's her own video. He'll say something like, "Oh, I hope we can go there next." Or
How do you know that it's him that's commenting?
Because oftentimes, so sometimes she will do a live stream while she is with the tour group.
Okay.
And he is there,
Like
and
texting?
he is commenting and watching the live stream, which he is currently in.
Yeah.
And his name is Alan, and we know that because he has said his name, and this account is Alan, and it's like an Under Armour logo, and he always wears Under Armour. There's
Go ahead, because I'm just curious as far as like, is this just like a FOMO campaign for like older creepy guys? Like older creepy guys stumble upon this cute Japanese girl on YouTube, and they see that other men like themselves are around her, and then they see that other men are apparently also interacting with her page, and that maybe if they do that, they can then be a part of this experience. Otherwise, it's this big, fear of missing out, pressure of them thinking that, oh, if I were to just comment on Miley's channel, I will then, be a part of her group or whatever. That's what this feels like. It's creepy.
I don't know.
You're right. It's creepy.
There was it was a live stream video that we watched. This was a few months ago that actually made both of us kind of mad this moment, because so there are these like 3 or 4 dudes that are almost there every single time, every tour that she has videos of, like these same guys are there. But sometimes there's also like a few other people, like different people,
a new guy,
and you can tell in some of these that these people are actually there as like a Japanese tour, and because she is actually giving like a tour, and she'll like take you to different experiences, and she like goes through the history, like she researches all this stuff, she puts a lot of work into this, and like this is like what her passion is. She makes it very clear in her personal videos, like this tour guide thing is something that like I've always wanted to do.
Yeah, I'm still not buying
this
it.
And that. And so anyway, there was this live stream that she did where it was like the end of this tour, and she was just like asking people like, what was your favorite part of the trip and whatnot. And so there was like this dude from New Zealand that she asked, and he was like, oh, there was like this castle that you showed us, and like I thought that was really cool. And she was like, yeah, like the castle that whatever happened in, and like all this stuff. And he was like, yeah, that was really interesting, really cool. And she asked that Alan dude, she asked a few people, and they had like different answers, like, yeah, the history of this was really interesting, or I liked whenever we went to this place. And she asked this Alan dude, and he was like, you want my honest answer? And I was like, oh no.
No.
and she was like, yeah. And he was
Please
like,
lie.
he was like, well, we were on the train yesterday, and I could see your panties.
No.
Yes. And she goes, like her mouth drops, and she was like, oh my God. And she like walked away, and she looked so uncomfortable and like upset. And both of us were like, what a fucking douchebag. Like, what a piece of shit. Like,
no, I'm still not buying it.
We both felt really bad for her, because she definitely
it.
looked very uncomfortable.
I think she's acting.
Not happy about that.
I think she's acting. I feel like this is the whole point of it. She might do tours on the side, and that might bring her money, but I feel like this whole thing, unless she's being like trafficked and there's like a gun off frame, to her head, which is possible. I feel like this whole thing is an attempt to make her look innocent and naive and just into travel and history. And really it's just a front for her being, some kind of sex worker, which is not a bad thing. I'm not like trying to, shame her for that, but I feel like this is all just marketing for that.
I certainly disagree, but there's no way to confirm or deny.
Because like someone, I guess if it was a live stream, sure, but it feels like that whole, like, I saw your underwear on the train bit. She chose to keep that in her video. And even if it was like it was done
Oh, it
live.
was a live stream, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Even if it was done live, but can't you not go on after the fact and then cut that out? Or were
I don't
you
know.
watching
We were watching it while it was
You were
live.
watching. Okay, you were watching it live.
Yes.
So there's the thing. I don't know that it still feels like that's just
I don't
all too weird.
I think she usually keeps her live streams up. I don't know if she does or not, but yeah.
Then who knows what happens? Again, it's the whole. See, I don't know. I still feel like I'm right because if weird,
Well, I mean, you can choose to believe that, I guess. Yeah.
if weird shit like that happens on her live streams, and then she doesn't keep them up, I still feel like that's a FOMO thing. That that she's hoping that I don't know. It all just reeks of artificial. Which again, if it's a sex work thing, fine. To each their own. I'm not trying to bash that, but YouTube is a weird place to advertise yourself.
Well, I definitely don't think so because we've watched a lot of her stuff, and I certainly don't get that vibe at all.
Okay,
I think that
could be the point, though.
I think there's just like a weird clientele, and I think my partner follows her on like Instagram, and there is a rare occasion where there will be tour guides where there's like not just weird old, like the same weird old people at least. But yeah, no, I certainly have never had that impression.
Miley, write in. WWTCA pod
we know you're listening.
Or Alan. Alan, you write in. I know you're listening.
We have had a few downloads from Japan.
That's where they're from.
Actually.
They're from that same tour group.
It very well could be. Alan, if you're listening, you're fucking weird, and I hate you.
You're fucking weird, dude. Don't write in. You are not allowed to write in. So you mentioned like the guy who does the snacks or like the food or whatever.
His account is Experience Japan. Yeah,
that might be the one. I know there's several of these, but it's all like they go to like ramen shops or they go to like the 7-Eleven or whatever. But there was one.
Some of them it's just like he's on a ferry and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
That.
So
yeah, really good.
I was about to. Yeah. So that was what I was going to say. Was I stumbled across this guy because it was like an overnight ferry trip or whatever, and that fascinated me. And then the whole thing was just like going to the cafeteria and going to like the vending machines, which was also fascinating. But I wanted to just see like the ferry part of it. I didn't realize this is going to be like a POV, but I was hooked. I was like, I didn't know I wanted this, but I'm in. I just want to see this guy.
There's also like a bunch of train, like a bunch of train videos,
like that one like high speed train where he gets to set up front. It's all glass, that private like
there's
capsule thing.
Yeah, he uploads every Friday or Saturday.
Okay.
I don't remember what day.
I'm not
but he
subscribed.
uploads every single week, and yeah, we're subscribed. We watch them like every weekend.
Okay, I just like randomly it'll pop up as
that's like one of her favorite channels. Actually,
it's so good.
Like as soon as there's another video of his that we notice, we immediately watch it.
Go to Japan. Like I think there needs to be like a franchise of that style for other countries. Like show me other country food and modes of transportation, and just don't talk. And I never want to see you.
Yes. We found that this like. So separate from that, the guy from Japan that I was saying that just like POV walks around places.
Yeah,
that definitely is a thing that exists for like everywhere. We found like New York City versions. We found Manchester versions.
Okay.
We found like any place you can think of. Almost there is like a video of a person just POV walking around.
Really,
no talking. Yes, we've watched. There's like a really disturbing series of Manchester ones actually. So whenever we like looked up Manchester because that's what we got interested in, and we wanted to see like that style video for Manchester. And there is what I think might be one account where we like clicked on one. It was like the first one that came up, and it is like POV walking around, but there are a lot of edits, and it is specifically just like seemingly in secret filming like scantily clad women who are out clubbing, and they're like out on the streets with like really short like outfits, and he like walks up and like turns the camera toward them and like walks, and there's like moments where he like fucking follows them like for like 2 blocks from behind them, and it is upsetting.
But so again, but that's what I'm saying.
But then there are normal ones also. But that was like the first ones that came up.
I'm going back to Miley and her. I think that's like it's not necessarily like outwardly like OnlyFans level of sex work, but I think it's a level of sex work that that it's voyeuristic, and it also passes censors in the sense that people who maybe don't want to or are unable to access more lewd or explicit content are able to find this shit on YouTube and have access to it, and maybe can fulfill their voyeuristic tendencies while also getting ads for PetSmart or whatever, I guess. But there's also a market there for the people who make that content, because they get views from people of all ages, unfortunately, and they don't have to, skirt any kind of explicit adult laws or whatever. It's a wild west out there. It's a wild.
As the person who watches her videos, I strongly disagree that this is the case. But
I haven't seen it, so I'm sure, but I still feel like that's the intent. I think the intent is for her to come off as she's not doing that. It's not intentional.
I mean, you could say that about anybody who just has a regular YouTube channel. You could say this could just be a front for that person being.
You could, but I think it's specifically a type of Japanese fetish, and I won't go any further into how I know that. I plead the fifth.
What? Wait, I don't even understand what you're. I mean, I know what you're talking about there, but I don't understand what you're saying about with her channel, because it's not like it's just her walking around.
But it's still voyeuristic. It's a cute woman who's, I'm guessing,
but any YouTube video you could say is voyeuristic.
That's true. But I'm saying that she has intent behind it being that way. And that includes
I don't follow.
That includes the people that she allows to repeatedly follow her around. It establishes a certain dynamic between who the audience she's trying to reach online.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
Again, I haven't seen it, but that's what it smells like.
And there's also no way that I can confirm or deny that.
Well, of course not. I mean, I can't either.
Wrong,
but I just feel like that's what this is. But it's also a double thing. It also just is a travel channel, or like a local tourism type content. So there's also going to be that crossover of people who are just also watching it because they like Japan and she's interesting and she's knowledgeable, and there's that too. And there's going to be people in that tour group that are probably real people, not just like Alan or whatever the other guys are, right? That's also going to happen. But that doesn't mean that she's not playing both sides of this, and she knows who her audience is. Hopefully she's in control of this and she's not being pimped out or forced to do this sort of thing. But that's kind of what this smells like. And again, I'm not saying I'm against the idea of this. That's what it smells like. And then the whole Manchester guy thing, that's also what
Well, yeah, that one's really disturbing.
Yeah, clearly, yeah. So
that man should be in prison.
So the other ones that because again, I'm not going to go search this shit out. It has to come to me. I'm not going to ruin my algorithm by typing in POV Manchester or POV whatever. But for these other ones, what did you search exactly to get to find the other country versions of the Japanese POV guy?
I think it was just
walk around insert city.
Walk around Manchester.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Manchester POV walking. Just something
underwear.
like that.
Underwear close up.
Yeah, Manchester
creep.
Yes.
Manchester voyeur POV history tour.
But it's really interesting to compare, especially the New York City, for example, and see how fucking gross it looks.
Oh yeah.
And then to see the Tokyo ones where the streets are completely clean and
order and
people take care of the city and it looks nice.
A pride there. So for the American version, did you still find it interesting? I don't think I would.
I mean, I watched one video, so I think interesting in as much as I was interested to watch one video. But it was the one that I remember watching was in maybe Times Square,
sure.
I think,
okay,
in Manhattan, and it was a walking around at 2 a.m. in Manhattan.
But did they also go to eateries or having like
No, it was just walking around
because that's the part I like about the Japan one is I want to see the random vending machine stuff and
I haven't seen any or looked for any videos that are like that
Okay.
anywhere else. I've only seen like specifically just like walking around.
So like the
videos.
Manchester ones, besides the creepy one, it was
Yes,
pretty much just
they're
like
just
walking
walking.
around. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Which I mean, I don't mind that either. But that's the part about the Japanese one that I've watched that I found the most fascinating was like just like the random, snacks or
Yep.
whatever whole meals that come out of a machine.
Aside from that, I've definitely watched like dozens of tourist specific Manchester videos, but they are edited up like a person telling you,
Actually giving you information.
like we had a weekend here in Manchester, and here's the things that we did during, like, we recommend going to this restaurant, like shit like that.
This
I
guy sounds really annoying that you watched.
Well, actually, the one that that comes to mind first was this woman from I think Germany that did a video that was kind of interesting. But
Do her voice.
But no, I haven't seen any videos that are just like no talking, showing you
Yeah, that
stuff
needs to be
anywhere
franchised.
other than that Japanese person. I'm sure they probably exist somewhere.
Did
but I haven't
the
seen them.
creepy guy from Manchester, did he talk?
No,
Okay.
it was just a suspiciously low angle camera following women who were clubbing.
Yeah.
So they were wearing like short outfits and stuff like that.
See, like that kind of stuff I'm not in on because clearly that's done without consent of those individuals.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Like Miley and Alan doing their weird thing. At least I hope everyone's in on that. I hope there's no forcing of like, I don't know, maybe Alan's the one that's being trafficked here. We
He's
can't
the ringleader.
Yeah, I think she's the ringleader and Alan's the one being trafficked.
That would be really interesting.
But no, I don't think that. But and I don't hope that either.
Or hope that.
Yeah, no, yeah. But that at least seems as though everyone's on board with that situation, at least to a point, right? But the one that is just like this guy following random people around, that's definitely, that's not fun to watch. You need like a shower after you watch that stuff and to watch
but
cartoons to like erase that memory.
I'll tell you what we didn't need a shower after. Where this all began
Tokyo?
was we watched Broken Rage.
That's right. I loved it.
Yes, I did too.
I can't remember exactly what we decided our prediction was going to be.
Well, we were
had
thrown
several.
off because one of the only two plot details that were listed, it was Yakuza and it was courtroom drama was the second one.
Right, yeah.
And that has nothing to do with anything.
They were never in a court at all.
There's no courtroom in that movie.
Yeah.
So whoever put that in there just like made it up.
Yeah.
So we decided that it was going to open with like a crime being committed, and then, at least from my imagination, like the bulk of it was going to be an interrogation, and then the first half would end with the courtroom sentencing of the main character, and then it would fade to black, fade back in, and it would be the same story again, but silly.
Yeah.
Is what I said. And I think you were asking in what way, or like how do we know that this is like a silly version? And I was like, I don't know, like maybe it'd be like slapsticky or like
I think
don't know.
we even like flirted with the idea of like a Mr. Magoo type version.
And at least as far as the structure goes, I was pretty right.
You dead on. Yeah.
However, it was not like story as vague as we both were with the story. We were absolutely not right with that.
No.
Or like the story structure.
Yeah, there's no courtroom, of course.
As far as like how the movie's flow was pretty correct.
Yeah.
And that it is a serious story that is told beginning to end for like 25 minutes. The first story was definitely shorter.
Mm-hmm.
And then it fades to black and then it fades back in. And it is like pretty much the same exact script, shot for shot remake, but fucking silly.
It's titled Spinoff.
And it's slapstick. Basically. Yes. Yeah. And he is like bumping into everything. There's like so many times where he hits something and goes, ouch. Like over and
to
over
me,
again.
it felt a lot like a Mr. Bean
Spoilers for Broken Rage, if that's not clear.
Oh, yeah.
If anybody wants to watch this, go to Prime. It is 66 minutes. Watch it and come back. It is well worth watching.
Broken Rage.
It is so It is excellent. I loved it.
Yeah.
Go watch that and then come back.
Definitely
Listen to this.
spoilers. So yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, to me, it felt like a Mr. Bean or a Monty Python sketch.
Yes.
And I don't mean just like
I was
like the
I was
slapstick
definitely
part of it.
thinking like kind of an airplane-ish kind of situation almost.
Yeah, like a what was it? Abrams Zucker or whatever is the group that did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Zucker Brothers.
yeah, and I don't just mean like the comedy second part of it. I also mean like the first part, and then how they were like, okay, you saw that, now let's go and replay it. You know, this because
and I thought the first part had a couple of funny parts as well.
it did, but also the first part was also just like really good. But also, I think the first part was needed for the second part to be as funny as it was.
Yes.
Because the second part was silly and stupid and, ridiculous. But without the first part to compare it to, it would have just been like a guy doing stupid things and it'd been like, okay, like what's the point of this? But it was much funnier seeing the exact same shot for shot, like storytelling and plot. And then all of a sudden, like, you insert, slapstick and pratfalls and stuff.
And, like, those fucking parts where it's, like, because his, like, code name or nickname is the mouse.
Yeah.
They fucking have these shots of him with, like, a mouse nose and little ears and shit. Yeah. Going, squeak. Squeak. It's so stupid.
Or you're going to be undercover... And then they said something like having a mask over you or something.
Yes.
But they meant like metaphorically. And then all of a sudden he's wearing a mask.
He's like a luchador mask.
Yeah. And then he wears it at one time. They're like, take the mask off.
You forgot to take that off.
He does some kind of like hand like snap finger
like
thing. Yeah. And then
so fucking crazy.
Did you get the reference of the shorter individual in the suitcase?
I didn't get the reference. No, I just thought it was. I just found it funny, that he carried home a bag with a fucking narrator inside of it. I didn't know if it was a reference to something that I was supposed to understand, or
I don't know
if
it was
like
either.
A weird gag.
But like that person comes back as like the police chief whenever the SWAT team raids him.
The SWAT team, like yells like get him or whatever it is.
And then he does some kind of like little song and dance there on behind the dog pile. And again, I assumed that was some like reference that
if it was like, in Japan, you would know that this is like a famous comedian or something.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, like that voice is famous or whatever. Yeah. And that was the scene with the SWAT team. That was the scene that felt most like a Zucker Brothers scene, because I was like, that would have been in Airplane. Just like that. Like he walks in, doesn't see this whole SWAT team. They SWAT him, and then they just pounce on him, dogpile. And then all of a sudden, like the waiter or like the cook from the restaurant also jumps on the back of the pile.
Yes, he also gets in it. Again, I really loved, even if it was a reference that I don't understand and I'm like missing the real joke. I fucking thought it was so funny that he goes to the locker and there's like a huge fucking case that he takes home on this version, and he gets home and there's just a person inside of it narrating the note that he has.
And like what was weird is like you just hear the voice like off screen at first, and you're like, why is it all of a sudden in this weird voice? And then the camera pans
and then it cuts
around
to the wide shot.
This guy just talking.
From like as he's getting out
in
of
the suitcase.
fucking bag,
whatever it was, No, the whole thing it was ridiculous. It was absurdity,
and then the interrogation where it's like we're gonna just do
dangerous things,
and like make you uncomfortable to the point
sword
that you
swallowing
want to talk.
And like laying on
the person laying on the bed of like needles, and they like put a board on top of it and like keep threatening to like hammer it down, and they're like you better talk.
I love the moment whenever the two women outside are walking past the interrogation room, and they hear the groaning and the yelling and like the severity of the moment, and they then like start to walk away. There's a moment where someone says, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to hit you." like clearly the hammer came down and actually hit the guy.
You hear the guy go like, oh. Like you hear him react to it. It was fucking great.
There's a lot of stuff that was like that was it was very fast, very quick pace at times with the comedy, and also like really layered. Like there was so much going on, you know, that they would just cut to like really quick, or that, you know, something would happen that was tiny. Like my favorite part, well, one of many favorite parts was whenever he's coming over to get on the treadmill, and he just stumbles and almost trips getting on it. Like that made me laugh so fucking hard. And then like the two bodyguards like look over at him, you know, like what the hell is that?
And I love that they're like they're like side-eyeing each other, like slowly turning the speed up, like going faster and faster.
But it was like small stuff. It was small little things throughout, on top of the like, you know, clearly blatantly like goofy moments and slapstick moments, that there was just so much going on. I loved it. Like I said, I enjoyed the serious half, or less than half, just because it actually was sort of interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Because actually, I was watching it knowing that the second half was going to be comedy, of course. But I was watching it and thinking like, this is actually a really good example if you're trying to do a short film of like to watch for pacing and to watch for editing, because it moved through that story in 25 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever, and you understood everything. You didn't have to have everything force-fed to you, or like backstory or setup or whatever.
It's very engaging.
Yeah, and it was still engaging, and it also wasn't confusing. You didn't feel like you were really missing information. You know, like,
you're right. The pacing was quick, but not so quick that you're like getting left behind. I definitely thought that too. It was probably what part was it? It was around the part where he meets up with the detectives and they give him the heroin.
Yes.
It was around that part that I was like, that I actually had that specific thought that you're talking about right now. I was like, this is like really good pacing, because I know that this is only going to be about a half an hour.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff going on kind of, but it's like, it's going really quickly, but it's not confusing in any way whatsoever. And it's really easy to follow.
To me, I took it as, they were trusting the audience to have intelligence, which I think is something that I fall into this issue a lot, especially with like shorter works, where you feel like you have to explain things more than you really need to, or whatever. And it's like, you know, maybe the audience won't get this, or maybe I don't want the audience to feel left out, or I want to highlight this thing, that way the audience does for sure get it, right? And that just adds time to the short, and it's, you know, it's not necessary to do that, but you still feel like you have to. Whereas in that moment with the heroin baggie, like, you know that he is undercover and working with the police as an infiltrator. So you also know that he has to report to them to give, you know, his feedback or whatever. So we already know that as the audience, that those scenes have to be taking place. And then all of a sudden he just shows up and meets up with the two detectives and gets the heroin. So all of that of like, hey, meet us here at 4:00, you know, we're going to have the next step for you to infiltrate. You know, all that is not necessary. You just have the guy do it, and then, you know, it's done. Mm-hmm. The second version of that was whenever he has the wire. So again, like, he just talks into it, hello. That's enough to tell you that they've already put it on. They've already established the process of, hey, you're going to go in to this meeting with a wire, and, you know, all this other stuff. And it was like, again, it seems really simple in like retrospect to watch it. It's like, of course you can just do that. But I'm guilty of this in thinking that, you know, oh, we need a scene where we see them talk about putting on the wire and, like, you know, whatever, right? So yeah, that was really nice to watch, just to see the structure of an actual serious short put before you. It was really nice to see that. And then of course the comedy part was just a huge payoff. So
yeah, I was really unsure what to expect with the second half. And so whenever it opened back up on that like skyline shot, and then it like tilts over, it like falls over
off the helicopter. Yeah.
And then it goes back to the opening shot of him walking into the cafe. and he gets up to the door, and as he gets up to the door, somebody's leaving, and the fucking door slams.
As soon as that happened, I was like, I'm in. I was like, this fucking movie's awesome.
Same. And then he goes and sits in the chair, and it fucking, you hear like a
Huge
a loud
calamity.
crash.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, the guy that works there is like, yeah, the chair's broken. And it shows him fucking laying on the floor with like the broken chair beneath him. Yeah, I was like, oh, fuck yes. This is going to be like ridiculous.
And then like I loved that whole chair thing because they do that 3 times. The first time is that. The second time is a bigger, more massive.
Yeah, like the whole table.
The whole table in
collapses.
like a bookshelf or something. And
he's like laying on his face.
He's just laying on the floor this time. And then the third time he comes in and is like, no, I'm not going to go sit over there because it's bad luck. And then he sits somewhere else, and this huge SWAT team from where he was sitting before, like this like 20-person SWAT team that's not hidden at all, comes over and like tackles him. It was a great setup and payoff to those 3 versions of that same joke. Yeah.
Yes. He followed the rule of 3s appropriately.
Yeah.
We'll say.
Yes. And another thing that I loved too, and I think again, this was like it highlights the importance of that first half being serious. Is and I even questioned how like they were going to do this whole second part that's a parody of the first part, but it was done brilliantly. So the big takeaway for me in that was it was awesome to know like what the next beat of the story was going to be. I know that this is like the gym scene, and he goes into the sauna and cleans the pool, but not knowing how they were then going to make that funny or unique.
I know. I started thinking like, oh, so I started trying to think of like, oh, so what's going to happen in this? And I was like, awesome. I did not expect he's going to murder the wrong person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it was really cool to be like, sort of a little bit ahead thought-wise of knowing the plot because we just saw it, but then also not knowing how they were going to, pay off the joke in that scene. Mm-hmm. So that was really cool to be able, because again, I think that if it was just the comedy version, not knowing what was coming ahead, you're just watching a guy doing like, ridiculous things.
Yes.
It's like, okay, that's crazy, but whatever. I think that first part was actually more important than I thought it was going to be for the comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe most importantly, we can do our prosecutor versus defendant 2-story thing. That idea is up in the air. We can use that.
Yeah. And I'm curious if any other films have been inspired by Broken Rage as far as how like this whole device works, and like I wonder if there are other examples of running it once straight and then running it again comedically,
or if there's like something in the making, because that movie I think is very recent. I think that's like,
I guess so. It was 2020.
I think it was a 2024.
I think it was. Yeah, that's right. So maybe there is.
And also, I don't know how many people are even aware of it, because Amazon seems to not like want you to know it exists.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I think I specifically made mention that it's interesting to see another platform trying to compete with Netflix as far as like making sure you can't find their own movies.
Right.
Yeah, so
it's ridiculous.
Because I watched it on the Fire Stick, and whenever I went to the search box, I typed in Broken, and whenever I hit R, there was no like suggestion for Broken Rage. I had to type in the whole title and search it to find it.
Yep.
And I thought that was disappointing and strange.
Yeah,
because it's on Amazon from, I think Amazon helped like fund it and distribute it or something.
Really?
Or distribute it, at least. I think they got the rights to it to put it on their platform. I could be completely wrong, but I think I saw something about Amazon Studios on the IMDb page.
Right.
Anyway.
Okay. But still, to not even, I mean, even if they didn't, the fact that it's on your platform, you should at least have some kind of search result that happens faster than typing in the whole title and then having to click on the title. Like, not even just typing the whole title did it pop up. For me, at least, I had to still click on the title and like have it think for a second. Yeah. So
yeah, it was highly recommended. I think that I added that to. So on my Letterboxd, I have a growing list of like my favorite first time watches of 2025. That's absolutely on the list.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite things I've watched this year. I thought that was excellent.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I don't know if it really even matters I mean, like, I think the jokes obviously hurt if you spoil them, but I don't think it really even matters if you listen to like our episode first and you heard us like try to guess what it was, you know, and predict or whatever. I don't think that matters if you really just care about having fun, because it was still fun, even though part of it was correct that we guessed and part of it wasn't. It was just a fun ride to like just take that whole thing in, and the fact that, you know, 60 minutes is like, that's easy, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, we didn't even mention the the musical chairs scene, which I loved.
Oh gosh,
I loved it whenever he shoots that dude and then points his gun, and then like another person, and then another person points their gun at them, and another person points their gun at, and it's like a fucking train of like 10 people, like one after another, like pulls their gun out and points it at the back of the person in front of their head, and then they like put their hand up.
I feel like that was done in one of the police squad or even like Naked Gun movies or whatever.
Yeah,
I feel like that
Academy.
Something similar was done to that.
And then like the last one ended with like a person with like a finger gun.
Yes, yeah.
And then it started this musical chairs, and you had mentioned that you enjoyed seeing the actors like break in the scenes, and I noticed that was the first one I think I noticed where it was the musical chairs, and I was watching Takeshi Kitano, and it looked like he had like a big smile while he was walking around, because I feel like he was just thinking like, this is so fucking ridiculous.
He I think he smiles again, or he breaks again whenever he rips like that one bald dude out of the chair.
Yeah,
and the chair falls over, and he kind of like looks back towards where you think the camera or like director would be. Yeah. He's like, you know, yeah. No, there was that one, and then there was the final, I guess, moment between the two main detectives and the two like prominent drug lord guys. And they talk about, you know, the role reversal of subordinate and leader.
Like, they have this like picture of the leader guy like on his hands and knees in front of the other guy,
which
like,
I
very
think
submissive.
I think that scene. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that scene was the first time in the movie where a previous joke was actually the setup of this scene.
Oh right, yeah.
Because if they didn't do the musical chairs for the national championship of musical chairs, and if he didn't win the trophy, and then the trophy wasn't a piece of junk that was then broke, that then fell on the floor, you know, like all these things set up for that, for then the photo to be taken where it looked like the guy was like bowing down to his subordinate. Yeah, like all of that led up to that, you know, one moment. But in that scene where they're showing that photo of him, of the one drug lord on his knees or whatever, something was said, and one of the detectives like laughs while he's saying his line, and then he like looks off to his left off camera, and he's looking for someone to like I don't know, call cut, or, you know, like let's do it again or whatever, and then he comes back, he's still laughing, and then he finishes his line. And it's like he has this smile on his face that you can tell is like an uncontrolled grin, not just like his character doing it. Yeah, that was my favorite break of the whole film, was that one. It was so awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the whole thing ends with like, it's like as if it's setting up that it's going to do one more, but it's like even more ridiculous. And it's like this time the camera like completely like falls over in the opening shot, and then it has him walking into the cafe, and this time he doesn't even get to the door. He fucking like falls over
like
in front of the door.
20 people.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Just like unknowingly just like trample all over him, and so by the time he gets into the cafe, he's already fucking like bashed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was excellent. I thought the movie was fantastic.
I think my favorite, because I laughed the hardest at that very first initial scene where he gets hit in the head with the door opening, but that was only because I think it was just like a surprise of how they were going to do the comedy.
Yes,
but I actually think the hardest time that I laughed, and the one that like had me on like the edge of my seat, was whenever they go to meet up with the heroin dealer at night driving the car, and it's already been set up that they have to shut the headlights off. And it's already been set up in the serious...
It's hard to see.
And it's hard to see, and it's already been set up in the serious version that the cars get very close to each other. And so, and it's from like this aerial bird's eye view vantage point of the two cars, like the one car driving towards the parked vehicle, getting closer to it. And the whole time I'm thinking they're going to hit. Like, I want to see the cars hit. And sure enough, it bumps into the car. And I laughed so hard at how stupid that was. I was like, I wanted it to happen. I was hopeful, and it did. Thank you for like delivering on that expectation.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the greatest. And then the whole, there were two segments where they filled for time.
It was like, padding the runtime or
padding
whatever.
the runtime. And that was the second one after the car fender bender was this text chain between like the filmmakers.
It was as if it was like
and the audience.
Viewers. Yeah.
And my favorite one was like, they said like, there needs to be more explosions and like, shooting or whatever. And then
they don't have the budget for that.
And someone said, yeah, they don't have the budget for that. And then another person said $5 and a dream. And I was just like, yes, like the self-awareness of like, this movie is done for cheap. It's, there's no time, there's no budget, and we're going to call it out. Yeah. No, it was great.
And it's like, are they not even going to show the deal happen?
Yeah.
like filling for time. Like this is a waste of time. This is shit.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
So the whole time I
great.
watched this, well, not the whole time, I guess. After I understood like the absurdity level of the second half, it really, again, like I guess gave me, I don't know if hope, or like it invigorated me about like the stupid, absurd scripts that we come up with. It's like sometimes it's okay to just do absolutely stupid stuff that makes you laugh, and it doesn't have to be like a serious or like, whatever. It can still be done with good craft and with good filmmaking, behind it. But it can also just be, just the dumbest thing committed to, screen. And,
Yes.
and as long as it's fun, then it's fine, Yeah. But I loved it. Broken Rage, definitely one of my favorites. I'm glad I got to watch that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Simon Barrett for making me aware of that movie's existence, because I have not heard of or seen it mentioned anywhere else by anyone at all.
And also,
like even on my Letterboxd, he's like the only person I follow that's watched it.
Also, shout out to you, for having watched it several hours before me, and then texting me, "You must watch this," or whatever it was. You were like, "You have to watch this."
So I think I knew that it was going to be up your alley, but I think I sent you that text message during the first like padding the runtime sequence. Like whenever those text messages were I text you, OMG, you need to watch. Like, I hope like, you can watch this or something.
OMG, I hope you get to watch this before we record. And I was like, okay,
yes,
let me watch the movie. Yeah, I knew then. I was like, okay, I have to see what this is all about. Yeah. Because at first I thought you maybe texted that because I was like, oh, did he like nail the prediction, which you ended up doing. But I didn't.
And I was trying to also make sure I was vague enough that you wouldn't know why like what I was getting at, kind of.
But then I also
didn't want to, because I almost did make a mention that like I was right as far as like the way the movie is set up, but I was like, I don't even want to say that much or like say anything about the humor or anything, and so I was just like, I hope you can watch it before we record.
That was how I took it initially. Was I was like, oh, he did nail the the whole courtroom.
Yeah, the text I almost said was like that I was watching the movie and I was gonna say like, I think we can still do the prosecutor defendant thing, but I didn't even want to say that much, and I was just like, I hope you can watch it.
I took it as like you nailed the prediction. But then the more I thought about it, like later on, I was like, he doesn't say OMG usually, ever. But also like, but also, I don't think he would have said OMG if he just simply got the prediction correct. So then I was like, maybe it's just really fucking funny. And like he's saying that like, like this is ridiculous. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. Go watch it. So that's why I was like, okay, I better go watch this then. Yeah. And it was both.
Yeah, Will's review is it warrants an OMG text.
from Thomas specifically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I like that you've watched that and we've been able to talk about that, and you still haven't seen Frankenstein, and so I still haven't been able to
Priorities.
say anything about that. Yeah.
Priority. I'm not going to get Netflix for at least another month and a half. So I will.
Yeah.
Though. I will. Like that is gonna happen unless it comes out on physical before then, I guess.
Yeah.
But even then, it's more likely that I'll watch it streaming because I'm going to wait another month and a half to get that. But I will.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing what you think of that.
But
So
my final review is definitely it's worth a watch because it's only an hour. It is fun.
Yeah.
But on top of that, it's also just really well done. My only like critique of the whole thing, I guess, and this is not even really that important overall, was to me the lighting was the worst part of the film. It was
the lighting.
It was all lit very bright. Everything was bright, even scenes that I felt like could have used a little bit more mood or tone, or even like I would have maybe have liked to seen the serious half of the film lit more dramatic.
Darker.
Yeah. But everything was like full brightness on the lighting. Like everything was clearly like either someone has glaucoma who made this, or like the monitor that they're watching it on is like, turned down brightness wise, and they just cranked everything up to be able to see it. But it was like everything was very bright for some of the scenes, like the interrogation room. And maybe it's just because I'm so used to like what an interrogation scene is like looks like in America, I guess. But it's always like very dingy and dark, and there's like dark corners of the whole room was like evenly lit, like not a shadow in the whole place. And then same for like the restaurant, same for the bar. Like there was just so much light everywhere. And again, that's like, who cares, right? Really, honestly. But I think if like the lighting would have been more dramatic and set the two halves apart, I think this would have been literally like a perfect movie. Like it's like that is that close to being so awesome, perfectly. Like the lighting is like the only thing that was like, you could have done a little better with that. But that's my one critique, I guess.
Yeah, I had I honestly had although there was some funny stuff, I had kind of mixed feelings about the like text message padding time moments.
I loved that.
I mean, I overall really did as well, but that was like the only. This is also me nitpicking.
Oh yeah.
If I had to nitpick anything, because I also still really enjoyed it, but if there was any gag that I felt at any point like either went on too long, or if it's just my personal, I don't really like texting on screen. I think
I don't. Yeah,
is another thing.
I'm with that.
But there was something about that was my only, like, it was the only gag that I thought was like, I don't know how to describe it. It was like the only gag that if I had to say I had an issue with, that would be what I did. And it was still funny, and I still really liked it. And I don't even know if I would like prefer they remove it. I think it's fine in there. But if there was like anything that I had any like, that's the only thing that I wasn't 100% in for would probably be that gag, especially more so the second time than the first, I think. Like whenever the gag came back up at the end of it, I was like, okay, I got this gag the first time.
Yeah, right. Fair enough. Yeah,
but it was still funny. Even the second time, it was still funny, and I still enjoyed it. And like, I was still like reading every single thing, and even as it's like fading to black, they're still like popping up, and I was like trying to see.
Yeah, I know it was like so fast.
Yeah,
and that was kind of why I did like it, was because I really felt like it was being honest in being a filler.
Mm-hmm.
That like I really think they needed to pad the time. That they weren't just saying that as like a haha joke. I think they really did need to make this 60 minutes or a certain threshold, and they didn't have enough material, and they were just like, fuck it, let's just be honest. So that was why I do usually dislike text on screen.
Yeah.
And even the way that they did it was like the worst way I think to do text on screen.
And if anybody for some reason still hasn't watched it yet before listening to this, it's just like a black screen. It is completely black screen with just like text message bubbles like moving from the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
Like,
and thankfully they're
as they pop up one after another.
They are in both English and Japanese.
Yeah, it's like Japanese on the left, but on the right it has the English
so that was
translation
helpful.
of the message. Yeah.
But like I said, I think that was the only reason why I actually do think I enjoy that, was because it was just honestly what they said it was. It was not trying to be
same.
like a, oh, let's just be funny or whatever. Like, I think they really just fucking needed to pad, and they were like, shit, like the story isn't long enough. Yeah. But I will say too that, maybe doing it twice, it got a little old hat. But I think that's also, at least for me, the second time seeing it was just because every other gag in the movie was a one-off. So seeing that, same gag twice, I think just stuck out even more that it was a repeat of what we've already done.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that, again, that is like I don't even really have much of an issue with any of that. Like I said, this is just like, if there was something that I had to make any kind of like a nitpick about with this thing, that would probably be what I would.
The lighting didn't bother me. I just noticed it. That was
which is kind of an issue in itself if you're noticing something like that. I guess
so. Yeah.
It
didn't take.
But no, I understand.
It didn't take away from the film. I just think that would have been like a slight improvement upon what was already really good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So everybody, again, if you're at this point and you still have not watched Broken Rage, go to Amazon and watch it.
Or don't. That way, no one else, that way Amazon doesn't push it. That way, no one else watches it. That way, we can get
it'll be our only
procedural done before it becomes famous, and other people copy it.
Yeah. No. Well, I still think that idea. It's very different, I think. So I think that'd be acceptable.
Yeah. This was different too, but like we also said, it also, at least for me, it felt like a Mr. Bean, and I don't necessarily mean like Mr. Bean the movie. I mean, it does have like the similar like slapsticky stuff, but like Mr. Bean like the TV show, and then like Monty Python, that cool thing, and then as you said, like Airplane or Naked Gun or any of those Zucker Abrams films, all those, like it just it hit on so many common comedy elements while also really needing that serious half of the film. It was cool.
Agreed. This is a 2 thumbs up from the, what was that called again, podcast?
It's one, the right hand is thumbs up, the left hand is thumbs up, but it's wearing something funny.
Mine is going to be a right hand, strong hand, thumbs up. Left hand starts as the thumbs up, but then it falls over.
It falls off your hand.
So that's our review. We might, since it was featured on our regular show, I think it wouldn't hurt to skim over it really quickly on the regular show as well.
I'm just going to say no. So that was my intent. I guess this is like a production meeting type thing. My intent in the regular show was to say, if you want to hear us talk about the movie,
oh, right. Oh, as a promotion.
Yes,
as a promotion.
Exactly.
Yeah, for our own
So those
show.
of you who are here on your own accord, thank you. Those of you who are here because we told you to come here and listen to the previous Friday's release,
thank you too.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But also
and sorry you had to get through some like BBC documentary and like
Fred
YouTube
Dibna
chat first, but
go see some Fred
Dibna. Go watch that documentary on YouTube in full HD.
This is like a weird like recommendation episode.
That's fine.
Japanese,
it's whatever we want it
Japanese
to be.
POV videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
Avoid cream cheese blocks of stuff in food.
Oh.
Sandwiches of history. Fred Dibna.
Yep.
Ancient Lights.
Tasting history.
Ancient Lights documentary or profile on BBC, and then Broken Rage.
I still need to watch the Roman Pipes video that you
from Smarter Every Day
as well. I need to watch that still too. Yeah, I didn't really have time to do that.
Roman Pipes. Yeah.
Roman pipes, that's right. Those Romans were laying down some pipe, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, there's some plumbing, some PB and okay. On to the regular show?
On to the regular show.